Hello and welcome back to Green Money Momentum, where we talk about market movements, making money, and money momentum. I am your host, Trevor, and today we are going to be talking all about the big event tomorrow, which is Liberation Day. April 2nd has been a very highly anticipated event for investors, as this is the day when the reciprocal tariffs are going to be rolled out. And so we're going to be talking all about that today, doing a bear case and a bull case of the current economic event that we're going into, as well as talk about our favorite stock, DJT, and how this stock may be affected by this. But before I get into it, I want to say, as always, that this is not financial advice, and I always recommend that you do your own due diligence before making any financial decisions. So let's hop into it. So when investing in these current markets with the volatility so high, I encourage investors to think about their emotions going into an event like this. Are you going to feel more fear of missing out if you don't get in and the markets trend upwards? Or are you going to feel more fear, uncertainty, and doubt if you get in and the markets trail back down? So just think where you are with your investment goals. If you feel more fear from this event, from not being involved, or if you feel more fear if you get involved and the markets do drop, because both are a possibility. And again, nobody has a crystal ball to exactly predict what is coming next. We could only use indicators and look at what's ahead of us and what was in the past to come up with future predictions. But of course, nobody is perfect. The S&P and the NASDAQ both have fallen quite a bit from the all-time highs, and it has been bleeding this entire year. So understandably, a lot of investors have been like Paul Revere saying the British are coming, the British are coming. And many investors are saying the tariffs are coming, the tariffs are coming. So this has been a very highly anticipated event, and there is just a mixed bag of emotions and opinions online about what is coming. Some are thinking that this is the beginning to a bigger crash, and many are thinking that this is the beginning of a stock market recovery. So when we just look at technical analysis, we'll start here with the triple Qs, which is the NASDAQ. We have fallen underneath the 200-day moving average, but we are in an overall downwards trend. So we are in a downwards trend on the MACD. We are looking a bit oversold. And then when we look at the RSI, we are sitting more in the middle of the RSI. So we are more near the 30s. So we are more near the oversold spot. We aren't in a perfect position, but we are more oversold than we are overbought. So just on a technical analysis point of view, when looking at the NASDAQ, this could be a good spot to enter. Again, think about your goals. If you are a shareholder, don't throw your entire portfolio in at this spot, but this may be a good spot to start to dollar cost average. Of course, both the indexes are pretty similar. So when we look at the SPY, it is about the same. Let me get myself off screen here for just a second so you can see where the RSI is there, right about the middle. On the MACD, we are looking a bit oversold. And then, of course, on the candlesticks, we have been in a downward trajectory. And again, this is because of the big tariffs coming tomorrow. So tomorrow, as this says right here, investors are bracing for Liberation Day coming, as tariffs on some imported goods are set to take effect at midnight, April 3rd. In addition, 25% auto tariffs go into effect Thursday, and Trump's 1-month suspension of 25 tariffs on many Canadian and Mexican goods is set to end in upcoming days. And so with this news coming up, what is my opinion on this? Well, I think overall the markets have just been freaking out this entire year, but with each set of tariffs, the tariffs haven't actually been as bad as many of us were expecting. So with each and every single set of tariffs, there has been a rollback, and each time there was a big investment into the United States. So recently, in March, this was just about a week ago, Hyundai invested $20 billion into U.S. manufacturing. So with all the news about the tariffs, the auto tariffs, the 25%, Hyundai decided to make a business move, and they are going to be bringing a plant out to Louisiana. Just the month before that, we also had a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt around the tariffs, but we saw they got rolled back. And then Apple said they were going to make a big investment into the country as well. And the month before that, we had the $500 billion AI infrastructure Stargate investment. So with each set of tariff concerns, there has actually been a lot of big investment into the United States. And with each set of tariffs, they haven't been as bad as many investors were expecting. But this overall market has been controlled by what I call the three-headed dragon of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And that is inflation, interest rates, and tariffs. And so with inflation, of course, the entire year hasn't been great. A lot of consumers have not been happy with what they are paying at the grocery store, at the pumps, and overall, most people are getting their pockets pretty pinched. And then when it comes to interest rates, we know that in December, Jerome Powell said that they aren't doing 4 cuts this year, but just instead 2. The markets run very heavy off of the interest rates. We know in 2020, when interest rates were historically 0%, the markets pumped more than ever. So when it comes to stimulation in the economy, interest rates play a very big part. So the interest rates not being the most stimulative have affected the markets a lot. And then the third level of the three-headed dragon has been all about these tariffs. And so if Liberation Day doesn't end up being as bad as many investors investors are expecting. If Trump comes out early in the day and rolls back the tariffs or says something that is positive, we could see a big pump in the markets. But I also encourage investors, again, to not be naive to what the markets could bring. Overall, we have been in a downtrend in the markets. And so let me pull up the chart here. When we do the chart and we look at the trend line here, we could see this downwards trend growing. So overall, we do need to respect the trend that is building. We can't totally ignore that. But again, this trend has been built by that three-headed dragon of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I think if tomorrow's big liberation day, which has been highly anticipated, again, isn't as bad as many investors expect, we could see a nice pop in the markets. And now with that being said, we also do have another big event tomorrow that could control one of the indexes, and that is the NASDAQ. And that is tomorrow that Tesla is going to be announcing their quarterly deliveries, and they could be the lowest in more than 2 years. And so that is some pretty bad news. We know that the NASDAQ is heavily influenced by Tesla. So if Tesla comes out with some negative results with everything else we are seeing in the markets, the overall macro economic trends, if it's bad news there and then bad news with Tesla, we could see a pretty big retraction in the markets. Overall, also, the markets are in a very fearful spot. So overall, a lot of investors are not investing right now, a lot of cash on the sidelines. And then when we look at DJT, Trump Media and Technology Group, we did have a nice green day in this stock. We were up 3.4% and we rose back to $20. So just like the overall market, we did have a green day. Hopefully this is not just an April Fool's joke and we can maintain some of the gains going into tomorrow. And so just like the overall markets, DJT has also been on a downtrend. What is positive is you could see that recently when we did tap at $22, that we did tap the higher level of resistance on this trend. Now that we have had also a couple green candlesticks today, we are right at the top of that trend line. So with DJT, what I'm hoping is that we could have another green day tomorrow and break out of this trend. Currently, just looking at a technical analysis point of view, we are oversold on the MACD, and then we are also pretty low on the RSI. So the indicators are lining up for us to look oversold. And then also, as I've been saying many times on this channel, there is a major support in this stock right around $21 to $27. So right in this range, we have tapped this spot multiple times and we recovered and gained value each time other than where we are at right now. And then when we had retracted below this level right before the elections. And so personally, I believe that DJT is in an oversold spot right now. And I think it is a great opportunity to pick up this stock while it is so cheap. Just $20 for a share of this, 5 shares for $100, I think is a pretty good deal, especially when we saw how high we've been on the chart in the past. I also believe that this company is gaining a lot of intrinsic value in the background. They recently have done a big investment with Charles Schwab revolved around crypto. Also with crypto.com, they're going to be doing some crypto ETFs. And they just had a big announcement with Roku. So if the news comes out better than expected, like it has with each other set of tariffs, we may see a pop in DJT. And so this may be a good spot for investors to join in if there is a pop in the stock just from that meme stock opportunity. Myself, again, I don't think about this as a meme stock, and I am investing because of the intrinsic value that is growing and because of the deals that they are making. But again, tomorrow is Trump's big day, so anything is possible. Anything is possible in the market. Again, this is on YouTube in the comment sections. It is a mixed bag. So everybody feels so different. I personally think that we could have a green day tomorrow, but I would love to hear what everyone else has to say in the comment sections below. So please let me know what you think about the markets, what you foresee coming tomorrow. Please leave a like and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.